I came into this business when I was at Princeton, and I worked for a brokerage firm in the summer. And one of the old runners said, "Bogle, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know if you're going into the investment business." And I said, "What's that, Raymond?" And he said, "Nobody knows nothing." And that's true. We don't know what the future holds. So it's hard to pick managers in advance. And part of the reason it's hard is we look back and say we expect managers to do in the past what they've done in the future. And that becomes somewhat ridiculous.
We can't systematically all pick the winner. So the challenge now is, okay, can I find those great active managers? In fact, I don't actually argue there are no great active managers. I'm willing to say, yeah, maybe there are some out there. My problem is I don't know how to identify who they are.
I find that index funds do better than about 2/3 of the actively managed funds. And then when I look at it in the next period, I find exactly the same thing, and the 1/3 that beat the index in one period aren't the same 1/3 that beat the index in the second period.
The most efficient strategy for an investor is to hold basically a broadly diversified portfolio reflecting the market of securities that are available.
The trick is not to pick the right company, it's to be, because most people aren't equipped to do that, and plenty of times I make mistakes on that. The trick is to essentially buy all the big companies through the S&P 500, and to do it consistently, and to do it in a very, very low-cost way.
Keep costs low, keep costs low, keep costs low. And the simplest way of doing that is a very broadly diversified, very low-cost index fund.
It's a cheap way to go, you know?
Yeah.
It's very inexpensive to hold a market portfolio.
It has to be a widely diversified portfolio. I think people are too afraid of investing abroad, generally, or across major asset classes.
So what the most investor needs to do is to have a balanced, structured portfolio, a portfolio that does well in different environments.
But you want to get out of the idea that you always have to do something. And when you hear news and your broker calls up and says, do something, it's just tell them my rule is don't do something, just stand there.